The Three Wallabies Gruff by Yvonne Morrison and Heath McKenzie. The Three Wallabies Gruff. Far out in the red country, dusty and dry, was a wallaby family saying goodbye. A dad, mum and son, Wally's Gruff was their name. They'd all had enough, and the drought was to blame. They wanted to look at a pleasanter scene, where plants weren't so brown, but were luscious and green. They hoped they would find somewhere leafy and cool, with trees bending over a sparkling pool. Meanwhile, far away, in the back of beyond, a group of wild creatures lived close to a pond. Around the pond's edge, a thick stand of trees grew, and with only a tight, narrow path leading through. This led to a ditch, and to reach the far side was a rickety bridge where a yowie would hide. This yowie was selfish and stingy and cruel, and wouldn't let anyone else use the pool. If creatures crept over the bridge where he sat, pit, pat, pitter, pat, pitter, pat, pitter, pat, the beast would rear up from his damp hiding place with sharp pointy teeth in a hideous face. "Who's that going pit-pat down my private track? I'll gobble you up for my afternoon snack." It didn't take anyone too long to learn. If you crossed Yowie's bridge, you would never return. Oh. So the animals always avoided that path and soon learnt to live without having a bath. Not bathing was bad, but what was the worst was drinking mud puddles to starve off their thirst. Oh, poor creatures, they're so thirsty. Then, into the clearing with all of their stuff, who should turn up but the Wallabies Gruff? Here were luscious green trees, it was shady and cool, and to top it all off, a sparkling blue pool. Just what these wallies were looking for. Beautiful. Oh. Little Gruff said, "I think we should take a stroll and have a close look at that nice swimming hole." But Mr. Gruff said, "I think my swim will keep. You two go ahead while I have a quick sleep." Then Mrs. Gruff added, "I need to unpack, but it's okay with us if you head down the track. Hop along and cool off. It's been hot in the sun. I'll come down and join you as soon as I'm done. See ya." All at once, Koala yelled down from the trees. "Don't go down the track," he cried. "Stay away, please." Oh, he desperately does not want him to go. "A horrible yowie is living down there. He'll tear you to pieces. You must all beware." Mr. Gruff chuckled kindly. "My son is too bright to be scared by a yowie. I'm sure he'll be right. I trust his good judgment, and so does his mum." The koala sighed sadly. Oh, still worried and glum. Little Gruff was excited. He longed for a swim. To snooze was too boring. Unpacking was grim. He bounced down the track through the tight, narrow gap. Slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap. The yowie reared up from the ditch underneath with his red bloodshot eyes and his fearsome, sharp teeth. "Who's that going slip-slap down my private track? I'll gobble you up for my afternoon snack." "I don't think you should," said that brave little Gruff, "as you won't get much meat, as I'm nothing but fluff. See, look, just fluff. My mother is coming, she's bigger than me. Why don't you try gobbling her up for your tea?" Oh, the yowie was greedy and he quickly said, "Yes, I'm keen for a big meal. Why settle for less? Go on then, why don't you take a cool bath? I'll be waiting for your mummy to come down the path." He thinks he's evil. Oh. Meanwhile, Mrs. Gruff had set up their new place and was longing to rinse off her paws and face. She bounced down the path, unaware of the trap. Slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap. With his fangs dripping slime and his eyes burning red, from under the bridge lurched the yowie and said, "Who's that going slip-slap down my private track? I'll gobble you up for my afternoon snack." Ew. Oh, gave her quite a fright there. "I don't think you should," said wise Mrs. Gruff. "I'm not all that big. I won't fill you enough. My husband is coming. He's bigger than me. Why don't you try gobbling him up for your tea?" Oh, the yowie was greedy and he quickly said, "Yes, I'm keen for a big meal. Why settle for less? Go on then, why don't you take a cool bath? I'll wait for your hubby to come down the path." Just then, with a snort, old Gruff woke from his kip, and he was ready to join wife and son for a dip. He bounced down the track, feeling fresh from his nap. Slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap. The yowie reared up just the same as before. Through razor-sharp teeth he let out a great roar. "Who's that going slip-slap down my private track? I'll gobble you up for my afternoon snack." But then he caught sight of the fierce Mr. Gruff, who was rippling with muscles wiry and tough. Poor yowie, he couldn't believe his two eyes. For once he had picked on a bloke his own size. Mr. Gruff grabbed a clump of the yowie's long hair and said, "It's time that you started to share. I've got an idea of what might do the trick." Then he lined up the yowie and gave him a kick. The yowie went sailing high over the pond and landed far back at the back of beyond. The animals watching let out a great cheer, for now they could all use the pond without fear. "Yay! Woohoo! We can go and swim!" As for the Yowie, embarrassed and sore, he sensibly chose not to settle the score. He found a new pond that was cool and inviting, and he hoped that his new life would be less exciting. Oh, so he's going to... Oh, look at those toenails. Ew! Well, he's just going to live alone here now. Look, he's got a sore bottom. Ouch. And he jumps into his new pond. With his happy face there. Dun, dun, dun. Little does he know who lurks underneath. Bye-bye, Yowie.